Imagine waking up each morning, surrounded by the silence of an empty home. No voices calling your name, no laughter echoing from the kitchen. Just the hum of the clock ticking away, marking the passage of time. This is the reality that many elderly individuals face, living in isolation, disconnected from their communities and even their own families. As we age, the relationships that once defined us often start to fade away. Our children grow up, move away, and begin their own lives. Our friends may pass on or become too frail to keep up with the demands of daily life. And yet, society often overlooks this silent epidemic, loneliness among the elderly. But why does this happen? How does social isolation affect the elderly? And most importantly, what can we do to change this narrative? In today's video, we will explore the profound impact of social isolation on elderly individuals, the psychological and physical toll it takes, and what steps can be taken to address this growing issue. Understanding social isolation and its prevalence among the elderly. Defining social isolation. Social isolation is more than just being physically alone. It refers to a state where an individual lacks social connections, meaningful relationships, and a sense of belonging to a community. For the elderly, this can mean the absence of regular interactions with friends, family, and neighbors. While many may think of loneliness as the only emotional consequence, social isolation is a broader issue that can affect nearly every aspect of a senior's life. It can stem from physical barriers, such as mobility issues, that make it harder for seniors to leave their homes. It can also be a result of emotional factors like depression, anxiety, or grief after losing a spouse or lifelong friends. Social isolation can lead to feelings of worthlessness, alienation, and a lack of purpose, which have far-reaching consequences on both mental and physical health. When seniors find themselves isolated, they often feel overlooked by society, with their voices and stories fading into the background. The absence of social interaction also means a lack of emotional support during times of crisis or joy. Without meaningful relationships, the elderly may experience emotional distress that only exacerbates their isolation. The numbers: how widespread is this issue? Understanding the magnitude of social isolation is crucial to addressing the problem. According to research from organizations like the National Institute on Aging and the AARP Foundation, social isolation is a silent epidemic affecting millions of older adults across the United States and globally. 28% of older adults live alone, and of those who do, more than 40% report experiencing loneliness regularly. Research has shown that social isolation can be as harmful to health as smoking 15 cigarettes a day, making it a significant public health issue. In some communities, this issue is even more pronounced. For example, in rural areas, where transportation can be scarce and the elderly often live far from their children or loved ones, isolation is even more of a pressing concern. Seniors in such communities may feel especially vulnerable, as their ability to connect with others becomes increasingly limited due to lack of social networks. Further studies reveal that social isolation affects nearly half of the elderly population in certain age brackets. This includes both seniors who are living alone and those who have limited access to social or recreational activities. These individuals are at a much higher risk of developing chronic conditions, experiencing severe mental health issues, and facing a diminished quality of life. Factors contributing to social isolation. There are several key factors that contribute to the widespread issue of social isolation among seniors. These factors can be physical, emotional, social, or even economic. Physical limitations. As individuals age, they often experience physical challenges that make it harder to stay connected with others. Conditions like arthritis, osteoporosis, heart disease, and other chronic illnesses can limit mobility and independence. When it becomes difficult or painful to leave the house, even for something as simple as grocery shopping, social isolation can quickly follow. Many seniors also suffer from sensory impairments, such as hearing loss or poor vision, which can further hinder communication. Social gatherings that once seemed simple can become overwhelming or impossible to participate in, pushing the elderly further into isolation. Health decline and disability. Chronic health conditions that affect seniors such as diabetes, dementia, or heart disease can have a profound impact on their ability to engage in social activities. Health decline may also limit their ability to attend social events, leaving them with fewer opportunities to interact with others. Seniors who need caregiving assistance or have limited mobility may rely on others for basic needs. This dependency can lead to feelings of helplessness and frustration, which further contributes to social withdrawal. The loss of loved ones. The loss of a spouse, family member, or close friend is one of the most significant life events that can lead to isolation. The elderly may lose the primary emotional support system they once had, and the grieving process can make them withdraw from social engagements. Losing close friends or family members who were once their main social contacts can create a void that is difficult to fill. The death of a spouse, for example, not only brings grief but can also bring an end to a primary source of companionship. Economic factors. Many elderly individuals live on fixed incomes, especially those who are retired or have limited savings. Economic hardship can make it difficult to afford transportation, participate in social activities, or engage in outings that once provided joy. For example, some social events or community centers may charge fees for participation, and seniors on limited budgets may feel excluded. This financial barrier also means they may not have the resources to hire caregivers or pay for services that could improve their quality of life. Without the financial freedom to enjoy leisure activities, seniors may become more isolated in their homes. Loss of purpose and routine. For many seniors, work and family once provided a central purpose in life. After retirement or when children move out, they may struggle to find new meaningful activities. The loss of routine can lead to a sense of aimlessness. A lack of daily structure can make it harder to stay engaged with the world around them. As a result, some seniors may become sedentary, only interacting with a limited number of people. When there's no pressing need to leave the house, the days can blend into one another, deepening the sense of isolation. Cultural stigma and the reluctance to seek help. In many societies, there exists a cultural stigma around aging. Seniors may be reluctant to seek help because they don't want to burden others or feel ashamed of their dependence. This stigma can make it even harder for seniors to ask for support or admit they are feeling lonely. They may feel embarrassed about needing help with basic tasks or feel as though they are being judged for not keeping up with the expectations placed on them. Many elderly individuals have spent their lives being self-reliant, and the notion of relying on others for social or emotional support can feel like a loss of dignity. This reluctance only adds to the isolation. Psychological effects of loneliness. Emotional toll, how loneliness affects the mind. Loneliness is not just a fleeting feeling of sadness, it has a profound and often debilitating effect on the emotional well-being of seniors. Over time, prolonged isolation can lead to significant emotional distress, making it harder for individuals to maintain a sense of joy, purpose, or self-worth. For many seniors, loneliness is a constant companion that shapes their everyday lives. The lack of regular social interactions and support can lead to deep feelings of sadness and helplessness. Unlike physical pain, which can be treated with medication, the emotional pain caused by loneliness can often go unnoticed or unaddressed. The onset of depression. Depression is one of the most common emotional conditions that arise from prolonged loneliness. Social isolation increases the risk of depression by more than 15%, according to research from the National Institute on Aging. For the elderly, depression is often overlooked, as many people dismiss it as a normal part of aging. However, untreated depression can have far-reaching consequences, leading to a lack of motivation, hopelessness, and a decreased ability to engage in daily activities. Depression often manifests through symptoms like poor appetite, disturbed sleep, feelings of worthlessness, and a lack of interest in previously enjoyable activities. Many seniors experience what's known as hidden depression, meaning they might not openly express their sadness but may instead withdraw even further, refusing help and distancing themselves from loved ones. Without intervention, this depression can worsen, making it even harder for seniors to escape their isolation. Feelings of worthlessness and alienation. A key aspect of emotional distress from loneliness is the overwhelming sense of worthlessness that many seniors feel. Without meaningful connections, it's easy to begin questioning one's value. Older adults who have lost their spouse, friends, or children may feel that their contributions no longer matter. Society tends to overlook the elderly, focusing instead on younger generations, leading to feelings of being forgotten or irrelevant. This lack of recognition and validation can cause profound emotional pain, making them feel like their presence has little impact. Seniors may feel like a burden to others, especially if they require assistance with daily tasks. As their independence wanes, so does their sense of self-worth, leaving them vulnerable to more severe emotional issues, including feelings of hopelessness and despair. The cognitive decline link, loneliness and mental health deterioration. While loneliness affects the emotional state of seniors, it also has direct consequences on their cognitive function. Research has shown that loneliness can significantly increase the risk of cognitive decline, dementia, and Alzheimer's disease. The mental and emotional stress caused by isolation accelerates the breakdown of neural connections, leading to memory loss, difficulty concentrating, and slower cognitive processing. Social interaction and cognitive health. The human brain thrives on engagement. Regular social interaction stimulates cognitive processes, keeping the brain active and agile. When seniors are isolated, they miss out on the cognitive benefits of conversation, problem solving, and emotional expression, all of which contribute to maintaining mental sharpness. A study published in the Journal of the American Geriatrics Society found that seniors who experience social isolation are more likely to develop dementia later in life. The lack of socialization not only leads to cognitive deficits but also makes it more difficult for seniors to form new memories or retrieve old ones. The link between loneliness and Alzheimer's disease. Loneliness has been strongly associated with an increased risk of developing Alzheimer's disease. Studies have found that individuals who report feeling lonely are at a greater risk of cognitive decline due to the constant stress and emotional strain that isolation places on the body. The cortisol levels, a stress hormone, in lonely individuals are typically higher, and prolonged stress is known to damage the hippocampus, the part of the brain responsible for memory and learning. In addition to the emotional aspects, loneliness can reduce an individual's ability to manage chronic health conditions, making it harder to stay mentally sharp. As cognitive abilities decline, seniors may feel less able to participate in activities or engage in conversations, leading them to withdraw even further. The cycle of isolation and depression, how one feeds the other. Loneliness and depression are intricately linked, often creating a vicious cycle that is difficult for seniors to escape. The initial feelings of loneliness can trigger depression, and depression, in turn, leads to further isolation. This cycle becomes self-perpetuating and can deepen the emotional and psychological toll that social isolation has on the elderly. Withdrawal from social interactions. One of the hallmarks of depression is the withdrawal from social interactions. As loneliness begins to feel unbearable, many seniors choose to retreat further into isolation, avoiding social gatherings, family events, or community activities. This withdrawal, while an attempt to avoid the emotional pain of loneliness, only increases feelings of isolation. As social connections diminish, the individual's mental state worsens, leading to a greater sense of hopelessness. This further reinforces the desire to avoid contact with others, creating an ever-deepening isolation. Reduced motivation to seek help. As the emotional toll of isolation mounts, seniors may feel too exhausted, apathetic, or ashamed to reach out for help. Depression often leads to a lack of motivation, and many seniors may no longer have the energy or inclination to seek the support they need. Friends and family members might not recognize the signs of depression, especially if the senior appears to be functioning normally in their daily activities. The longer a senior remains isolated and depressed, the harder it becomes to break free from the cycle. They may come to believe that nothing can help or that they are beyond saving, which reinforces the sense of powerlessness and contributes to a diminished quality of life. The impact on self-perception, a loss of identity and purpose. Social isolation can also affect how elderly individuals perceive themselves. When their social circle shrinks, seniors may begin to lose their sense of identity. A lack of social validation and recognition can lead to a decline in self-esteem and a sense of purpose. The role of family and social networks in self-identity. In earlier stages of life, family, friends, and colleagues help shape an individual's sense of identity. These connections serve as an affirmation of one's role in society, whether it's as a parent, grandparent, colleague, or friend. When these roles are no longer available or active, seniors may experience a significant identity crisis. They may feel as though they no longer have a reason to exist or that they have nothing left to contribute. This loss of self-identity can exacerbate feelings of depression and worthlessness, as seniors no longer feel relevant or valued by those around them. Social isolation and mental health stigma, reluctance to seek help. For many seniors, admitting they feel lonely or depressed is a difficult step. There is often a stigma around mental health, especially within older generations, where seeking help may be perceived as a weakness or failure. This stigma can prevent elderly individuals from opening up about their struggles, making it even harder to address the psychological effects of social isolation. Seniors might feel ashamed of their emotional struggles, believing that they should be stronger or more independent. Unfortunately, this reluctance to seek help only reinforces their isolation and prolongs their suffering. They may hide their emotions, putting on a brave face while struggling internally. Physical health consequences of social isolation. Social isolation and its impact on physical health. While the psychological effects of loneliness are profound, the physical toll it takes on seniors is just as significant. The body and mind are deeply interconnected, and the stress of isolation can trigger a cascade of physical health problems that may worsen with time. Social isolation in older adults can lead to a number of chronic conditions, including cardiovascular disease, diabetes, weakened immune function, and more. For seniors, the lack of social interaction means more than just emotional distress. It can be a direct threat to their physical well-being. The role of chronic stress. Chronic stress is one of the most harmful effects of social isolation. The loneliness that seniors experience increases levels of the stress hormone cortisol. Long-term elevation of cortisol levels is linked to a wide range of physical health problems, including high blood pressure, heart disease, and a weakened immune system. Cortisol plays a crucial role in the body's stress response, but when levels remain high over long periods, they can contribute to physical health issues. Prolonged exposure to stress hormones can damage blood vessels, increase the risk of heart disease, and lower the body's ability to fight off infections. High blood pressure and heart disease. Loneliness is known to be a major risk factor for high blood pressure and cardiovascular disease. According to research from the National Institute on Aging, socially isolated individuals are more likely to have high blood pressure and are at greater risk for heart disease. Seniors who experience chronic loneliness may suffer from elevated blood pressure as a result of the prolonged stress their bodies endure. Furthermore, the absence of a strong social network can prevent them from seeking timely medical advice or receiving care in times of distress, compounding their health issues. Increased risk of stroke. Social isolation has also been linked to an increased risk of stroke. A study published in The Lancet found that individuals who experienced loneliness were more likely to suffer from a stroke later in life compared to those with stronger social networks. The risk appears to be tied to the physical strain of isolation. Higher cortisol levels, poor diet, lack of exercise, and increased inflammation all contribute to vascular damage, which can lead to stroke. Weakened immune system. A consequence of loneliness. A significant and often underappreciated consequence of loneliness in seniors is the negative impact it has on their immune system. Social isolation can lead to chronic inflammation in the body, weakening the immune system and making seniors more vulnerable to infections and illnesses. Chronic inflammation and immune function. Research has shown that loneliness and social isolation can result in increased inflammation within the body. Chronic inflammation is a known risk factor for many health conditions, including arthritis, heart disease, and even cancer. For seniors, the immune system becomes less effective with age, and isolation exacerbates the situation by reducing the body's ability to fight off infections. In a study conducted by UCLA's Longevity Center, it was found that lonely individuals had elevated levels of inflammatory markers in their blood. These markers indicate that the body's immune system is constantly in a state of low-grade inflammation, which accelerates aging and makes it harder to recover from illnesses. Vulnerability to infections. Seniors who are socially isolated are more likely to contract infections due to a weakened immune system. A lack of social interaction means fewer opportunities to exchange germs and build immunity. Additionally, without a strong support system, elderly individuals may be less likely to recognize symptoms of illness early on, allowing conditions to worsen before they are treated. For example, older adults living alone may miss key signs of a respiratory infection or neglect their hygiene due to physical limitations. This can lead to serious complications like pneumonia or urinary tract infections, which are more common among isolated seniors. The impact on mobility and physical activity. Seniors who are socially isolated are less likely to engage in physical activity, which is crucial for maintaining muscle mass, strength, and overall health. Lack of exercise not only contributes to physical weakness but also increases the risk of falls, fractures, and even long-term disability. The link between isolation and sedentary behavior. When seniors live alone and have limited social engagement, they are more likely to lead sedentary lifestyles. Without friends or family encouraging them to get outside, take walks, or engage in recreational activities, isolated seniors may spend much of their time sitting or lying down. This can quickly lead to a loss of muscle mass and joint stiffness, making it more difficult to perform everyday tasks. Sedentary behavior is one of the leading causes of sarcopenia, the age-related loss of muscle mass and strength. Sarcopenia not only affects mobility but also increases the likelihood of falls and fractures. It can also make it harder for seniors to recover from illness or surgery, as they may lack the physical strength and stamina necessary for healing. The increased risk of falls. Falls are one of the leading causes of injury and death among elderly individuals. Loneliness and social isolation increase the likelihood of falls for several reasons. First, the lack of physical activity leads to muscle weakness, which affects balance and coordination. Second, seniors who are isolated may be less likely to seek help in case of a fall or injury, which can delay treatment and lead to more severe consequences. Falls can be particularly devastating for seniors, leading to fractures, broken bones, or head injuries. Once a senior falls and sustains an injury, they are at a higher risk of becoming even more isolated due to recovery limitations, creating a vicious cycle of further isolation and physical decline. The effects on sleep and rest. The power of social interaction. Loneliness can also have a negative impact on sleep quality. Studies have shown that socially isolated individuals often suffer from sleep disturbances and poor sleep quality. For seniors, insufficient or poor quality sleep can exacerbate a number of physical health problems, including increased blood pressure, weight gain, and a weakened immune system. Disrupted sleep patterns. The stress and anxiety associated with loneliness can lead to difficulty falling asleep or staying asleep. Seniors who feel disconnected from their social circles may experience restless nights, waking up frequently or feeling anxious about the absence of loved ones. These disturbed sleep patterns can further contribute to daytime fatigue, reducing overall energy levels and making it harder for seniors to engage in daily activities. A lack of sleep also affects cognitive function, memory, and emotional regulation. When seniors do not get restorative sleep, they become more vulnerable to cognitive decline, further compounding the effects of isolation. Malnutrition and poor diet, a result of isolation. A lesser-known effect of social isolation is malnutrition. Seniors who live alone may have less motivation to cook healthy meals, especially if they feel like eating alone is not enjoyable or meaningful. In some cases, loneliness may lead to poor dietary habits, including skipping meals or relying on processed foods that lack essential nutrients. The role of social interaction in nutrition. When seniors are socially engaged, they are more likely to enjoy shared meals and experience the benefits of group dining. Social settings around meals encourage healthier eating habits, while isolated seniors often have fewer opportunities to prepare or enjoy nutritious food. This leads to deficiencies in essential vitamins and minerals, which can affect everything from energy levels to bone health. Lack of proper nutrition exacerbates many of the issues already mentioned, including weakened immune function, poor cognitive health, and muscle loss. For seniors, maintaining a balanced diet is essential to combat the effects of aging, and social connections can help ensure they have access to healthier meals. How to combat social isolation, solutions and resources. Building meaningful connections, connecting the elderly to their communities. While the physical and psychological effects of social isolation are substantial, the good news is that there are actionable steps that can be taken to help seniors combat loneliness and reconnect with their communities. Building meaningful social connections is the key to breaking the cycle of isolation. In this section, we'll explore various strategies that can help seniors form or rekindle relationships, engage with others, and find a sense of belonging. These strategies range from community programs to technological tools that can foster social interaction. Community centers and programs, fostering social engagement. Many communities offer specialized programs designed to bring seniors together and combat social isolation. These programs typically include a wide range of activities such as educational classes. Seniors can take part in classes that range from computer skills to art, history, and even languages. These classes not only provide intellectual stimulation but also offer opportunities to meet others with similar interests. Group fitness programs. Many community centers offer low-impact fitness programs, such as yoga or tai chi, specifically tailored for seniors. These programs not only help improve physical health but also provide a social outlet, allowing seniors to bond with others while staying active. Social events. From potluck dinners to game nights and holiday parties, community events are an excellent way for seniors to engage with others and feel connected. These events foster a sense of belonging and remind seniors that they are part of a larger, supportive network. Social centers or local senior organizations often provide a safe and welcoming environment for seniors to build new relationships and reinforce old ones. By participating in these activities, seniors can begin to feel less isolated and more integrated into their community. Volunteering, a path to purpose and connection. Volunteering can be a transformative experience for seniors. It offers not only a way to stay active and engaged but also an opportunity to help others, which provides a sense of purpose and fulfillment. Many seniors who are isolated or struggling with loneliness find that volunteering helps them feel valued and needed. Seniors can volunteer in many different ways. Local charities and nonprofits, helping out at food banks, shelters, or senior centers can provide opportunities to connect with others while making a positive impact on the community. Mentorship programs. Many organizations offer senior mentorship programs, where seniors can share their wisdom and life experiences with younger generations. Neighborhood assistance. For those who cannot leave home frequently, volunteering within their own neighborhood such as helping with community gardening projects or assisting neighbors with errands can provide both a sense of purpose and the chance to socialize. Volunteering doesn't just benefit others, it also provides seniors with a sense of meaning and belonging, which is critical to mental well-being and helps combat the sense of isolation. Technology and social media, staying connected in the digital age. In the modern world, technology has become an essential tool for staying connected, especially for seniors who are isolated due to mobility issues or lack of transportation. With the rise of the internet, social media platforms, and video calls, seniors now have new ways to engage socially from the comfort of their own homes. Video calling, bringing families together. Video calling platforms like Zoom, Skype, and FaceTime have revolutionized how people communicate. For seniors, these tools allow them to connect visually with loved ones, even if they live far away. Video calls create a more intimate connection than voice calls or text messages, allowing seniors to see their family members and friends, which can reduce feelings of loneliness. In addition to family calls, seniors can also participate in virtual support groups, book clubs, or discussion forums, all of which can help them stay socially connected and intellectually engaged. Key insight: even for seniors who have difficulty leaving the house, video communication can bridge the gap, allowing them to maintain social relationships and stay involved in family activities. Social media, connecting with friends and communities. Social media platforms such as Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter offer seniors an opportunity to reconnect with old friends, share photos, and engage in conversations with others who have similar interests. Many seniors find joy in reconnecting with childhood friends or joining groups related to hobbies they once enjoyed. There are also numerous online communities specifically for seniors, where individuals can join discussions, participate in virtual games, and share experiences. For those with limited mobility, social media is an excellent way to combat isolation and stay engaged with the outside world. However, it's important to be mindful of privacy and security when navigating social media. Seniors should be educated about online safety, including recognizing scams and managing privacy settings. Regular health checkups and mental health support, the foundation for well-being. Social isolation can affect not only mental health but also physical health. Therefore, it's essential that seniors receive regular checkups from healthcare providers. Medical care can help seniors manage chronic conditions, maintain mobility, and detect potential health problems before they become serious. Additionally, access to mental health services can provide seniors with support when they are feeling overwhelmed by loneliness or depression. Health screenings and physical care. Seniors should have regular physical exams that assess their overall health, including vision and hearing tests, blood pressure monitoring, and screenings for conditions like diabetes or heart disease. These checkups can help identify physical issues that may be contributing to feelings of isolation. For example, untreated hearing loss can make it more difficult for seniors to engage in conversations, leading to social withdrawal. Regular visits to the doctor can prevent such issues from spiraling into full-blown isolation. Mental health counseling and therapy. Mental health support is just as important as physical health support, especially for those dealing with depression, anxiety, or grief. Mental health professionals can provide therapy, counseling, and coping strategies for managing the emotional effects of social isolation. In addition to individual therapy, group therapy sessions or support groups can help seniors share their experiences with others going through similar struggles. These settings provide a sense of community and validation, which is especially helpful for those feeling disconnected from the world around them. Creating supportive living environments, enhancing connections and access to care. For some seniors, moving into a more supportive environment can significantly improve their social well-being. Senior living communities, assisted living facilities, and co-housing communities can provide the care and companionship that isolated individuals need. Senior living communities, a safe place for social interaction. Senior living communities are designed with the needs of the elderly in mind, offering not only assistance with daily tasks but also a built-in social network. These communities often have shared spaces, including dining rooms, activity centers, and outdoor areas, where residents can interact with one another. For many seniors, the transition to a senior living community can be life-changing. Not only do they receive the support they need, but they also benefit from having daily interactions with others. Many communities also offer regular social events and activities that foster a strong sense of camaraderie and prevent isolation. Co-housing and aging in place. Co-housing is another option where seniors live in community settings with a focus on shared responsibilities and social interaction. In these environments, seniors live independently but are close enough to one another to help when needed. This arrangement promotes both independence and connection, ensuring that no one feels isolated. For those who wish to age in place living in their own homes, there are programs that can help them maintain independence while ensuring they have access to necessary services. For example, home health aides, meal delivery programs, and transportation services can provide both physical support and the opportunity for social engagement. The story of social isolation among the elderly is not one without hope. While the challenges are significant, the solutions are within reach. Whether through community involvement, the use of technology, or fostering closer family ties, there are countless ways to help seniors break free from the chains of loneliness. As a society, it's crucial that we recognize the importance of staying connected. A single phone call, a weekly visit, or a friendly chat can make all the difference in someone's life. By working together, we can ensure that our elderly loved ones lead fulfilling, enriched lives, free from the pain of isolation. If you or someone you know is experiencing loneliness, reach out to them today. Share this video to raise awareness about the silent epidemic of isolation and help us bring light into the lives of those who need it most.